You've seen the title, I'm ranking every UK Merlin roller coaster from worst to best. That includes coasters from Legoland Windsor, Chessington World of Adventures, Thorpe Park and the Alton Towers Resort. Why? Well, I could chuck Hyperia in the thumbnail, Alton Towers in the description and then get some views, baby. Watch this video bomb now. If so, feel free to rinse me in the comments. I deserve it. And whilst you're there, if you do enjoy the coaster content and fancy helping me on the way to 4K, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that lovely red subscribe button. Thank you, I really appreciate it, I promise. Now there are 26 operating coasters across the UK Merlin parks. Scorpion Express don't count because it's broken, standing, but not doing anything. So it pains me to say it, but number 26 is the Duplo Dino coaster at Legoland Windsor, because it reaches heights barely taller than Digital Dan and speeds barely faster than... Moving on. Number 25 is the Flying Fish at Thorpe Park. Sorry, it's rough. Number 24, Octonauts at CBeebies Land at the Alton Towers Resort. Another kiddie coaster, but not quite as rough and has some cool theming. 23, Dragon's Apprentice at Legoland Windsor. Another kiddie coaster with some even cooler theming. Hold on. Looking at this ranking, Chessington World of Adventures doesn't have any kiddie coasters. What sort of family park has no coaster smaller than a 1.4 Wild Mouse coaster? Make it make sense. Anyway, 22 is Minifigure Speedway at Legoland Windsor. Technically two identical roller coasters, the most intense and newest roller coaster at Legoland Windsor, but it's not very good though. 21, the Runaway Mine Train at Alton Towers. It looks cool off-ride, has fun family thrills, and it interacts with the rapids so you can wave at people on their boats. I don't know why, but I like that. 20 is Rattlesnake at Chessington World of Adventures. A generic Wild Mouse, but it does have some cool theming and it's actually very immersive. 19 is Spinball Whizzer at Alton Towers. Not as good as Dragon's Fury, enough said. 18, The Walking Dead The Ride at Thorpe Park. The longest name for... well, it's not even a short coaster, so there's no joke to make there. Ha! But it is a horror-themed kiddie coaster. That's a joke in itself. Taller height restriction and Hyperia, by the way. 17 is The Dragon at Legoland Windsor. I feel bad having this so far down because I'm not really the target audience. It's a family coaster and fairly tame. It's also one of the best themed rides in the whole of the UK. It starts off with a cool dark ride for the first half and then it becomes a fun family coaster for the second half. It's pretty good. I'm actually sorry you're that far down. 16 is The Vampire at Chessington World of Adventures. An absolute classic and one of the main reasons I became an enthusiast. So again, I feel guilty having it this far down the list. But it's just not as good as the others. It's another one of the best themed rides in the UK. One of the more thrilling family coasters, but it's become a little bit rough. It did open in 1990 to be fair. Number 15 is Dragon's Fury, also at Chessington World of Adventures. Better than Spinball Whizzer. Enough said. 14 is Rita at Alton Towers. Punchy launch, but not much else to offer. Still not as bad as people say. 13 is Mandrill Mayhem at Chessington World of Adventures. Still not as good as people say. You go around the world of Jumanji forwards and then go around the world of Jumanji backwards. It has a few launches that are fairly punchy, some nice theming, and an inversion, which is very rare for Chessington. It is quite boring though. 12 is Colossus at Thorpe Park. The world's first 10 looping coaster and pretty much the ride that put Thorpe Park on the map. It has a fun layout, good inversions, decent theming, great score and awful trains. Like, really awful trains. Number 11 is Galactica at Alton Towers. Originally known as Air, the world's first B&M flying coaster just misses out on the top 10. Mainly because the attraction's pretty much been left to rot. Also, the theme currently feels out of place in the Forbidden Valley. Controlled space flight does not seem very foreboding. 10 is 13. At Alton Towers. The world's first drop track coaster. Another horror theme on a family coaster, but it has to be said, it is some of the best theming on any coaster. The station looks cool. The on-ride experience is cool, the drop track scene is genuinely quite startling, and then the cool underground backwards section more than earns its place in the top 10, even though it only just scraped it in at number 10. Number 9 is Nemesis Inferno at Thorpe Park. Not as good as Reborn, spoilers for the rest of the video, but nonetheless it's an intense B&M invert with 4 inversions and a photogenic interlocking... Try that again. And photogenic interlocking corkscrews. It also has the longest pre-lift sequence on any B&M invert. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Dropping in next. Number 8 is Oblivion at Alton Towers. I love this ride. A one-trick pony, but that's one hell of a trick. Would be higher up the list if it did more than just drop you into a pit of darkness. Number 7 is Stealth at Thorpe Park. A 2-trick pony. The second fastest acceleration on any roller coaster in the world. That's actually pretty cool. It goes 0 to 80 miles per hour in 1.8 seconds and then has an intimidating 205-foot top hat. A great ride, just too short. Yes, 205 feet is short. I'm 206 feet. Number 6 is The Swarm at Thorpe Park. 127 feet tall, tiny, 59 miles per hour, 4 inversions, including a dive loop drop. It's so smooth, genuinely intense, and just not quite as good as number 5, which is Saw the Ride. Saw the Ride at Thorpe Park is the best themed roller coaster in the country. Yes, bold statement, I think. I like it. It's obviously themed around the Saw film franchise. The indoor section is immersive and scary. You have that beyond vertical drop that you don't see coming. You have an inversion over a dead body and a bit where it blows air at you. Don't know what that's about. Anyway, the outdoor section has a 100-foot beyond vertical drop, which is very intense. It also has some great airtime and it's only really let down by slight roughness. Otherwise, it'd be even higher up for me. Maybe even challenging for top spot. No. Number 4 is the Wicker Man at Alton Towers. Wicker Man is the best wooden coaster in the country. It's not got too much competition, to be fair. Though the stats aren't super impressive, the ride experience feels relentless and is full of airtime, and the centerpiece is incredible. Big up Big Bob. Should never do that again. A full themed experience, complete with a pre-show. Number 3 is the Smiler at Alton Towers, and this is the UK's main world record holder. A bit of a Marmite roller coaster, but your boy liked Marmite. I think. I don't remember the last time I had Marmite. Irrelevant. It has the most inversions of any coaster in the world with 14 flippy moments. It's 98.4 feet tall, goes to speeds of 52.8 miles per hour, and there's not a round number in sight. And that leaves 2 coasters, so I'm sure you can predict the top 2. But this might wind a few of you up. Number 2 is Hyperia at Thorpe Park, the UK's tallest and fastest roller coaster, standing at a whopping 236 feet tall. It reaches speeds of over 80 miles per hour, has a mega 14 seconds of airtime. That's insane, and you really do feel it. And then it has 3 inversions. I'm not sure if this one counts. And then to finish it off, there's golden theming. Golden theming. Theming. And that leaves the best roller coaster in the country. Number 1 is Nemesis Reborn at Alton Towers. In my opinion. This is the 2024 update of the 1994 classic Nemesis, and it's my favourite UK roller coaster as an overall experience. It reaches speeds of 50 miles per hour, it has 4 inversions, and stands at approximately the same height of an average conifer. It's not allowed to be taller than the tree line. Based on ride hardware alone, I'd likely rank Hyperia slightly above Nemesis Reborn. Though this is definitely the more intense ride experience, Hyperia has the height, the speed and the airtime, but then as an all-round package, this definitely wins, in my opinion. Thanks so much for watching. Like the video if you did enjoy it. Comment below if you disagree with me. I'd like to hear it, I think. Ciao, legends. That was good, wasn't it? Please, sir, can we have some more? You don't have to call me sir. But here's your link. Click it. Sir Punalot would sound cool though.